Very good afternoon, everyone. I'm audible and you can see me. I'm glad to introduce myself as Professor A.V.S. Kamesh from School of Entrepreneurship and Management Studies, SRM University, Andhra Pradesh. And I'm also glad to introduce my distinguished colleague, Dr. Lalit Mohan Mahapatra. He's a professor of finance in the Department of Management in School of Entrepreneurship and Management Studies, SRM-AP. So to give you a brief introduction about SRM, it has a long history of educating the best of the minds in India and contributing to global development by sending them abroad and making them employed in India in various fields, starting with engineering and then management. SRM-AP is a young and new age university started in 2017 in Andhra Pradesh, which is separated from the erstwhile Telangana state. Before I take you on to the actual journey, let me explain to you what is the MBA program. Generally, people have a perception that anybody can do MBA. Let me honestly tell you that MBA is not anybody's cup of tea. In the management parlance and terminology, MBA requires a set of competencies one should have or one should develop over a period of time. That's why all best business schools conduct an aptitude exam or a specific exam which will determine whether the candidate is eligible to do an MBA program or not. Prominent of them are, to start with, the GMAT exam, which is conducted across the globe, CAT, SAT, MAT, and there are many more. If you take it to the state level in Andhra Pradesh, it is ICET exam. Now, we will take you to the journey on why do MBA program at SRM-AP when there are so many colleges. This would start with differentiating between an affiliated college and a proper business school with a lot of history and credibility. In an affiliated college, you have a typical syllabus, a 2-year program. I don't know whether it is a semester system or year-wise system. People write exams, get grades, and pass out. There is no trace of a very good and significant placement for the graduates who come from affiliated colleges, and the quality of faculty is also not so good. It also applies to the infrastructure and the management commitment. At SRM-AP, we have the greatest commitment given by the top management, led by the visionary leader, Dr. P. Satyanarayanan sir, and Honorable Vice Chancellor, V.S. Rao sir. So we have carefully designed a curriculum and syllabus for the MBA program at SRM-AP. We have 3 verticals of the MBA program, which I'm going to discuss now with the help of my presentation. I'm sure majority of your students who have been going through these presentations for the past 1.5 years and may be thinking what is so different. So we are here to tell you what is so different about this presentation and what is so different about doing an MBA program at SRM-AP. The flow of our discussion will be, I will be discussing on why MBA at SRM-AP. I will introduce you to the programs. I will discuss with you the unique selling propositions of the MBA program. I will also introduce you to the MBA Generalist program. Then my distinguished colleague, Professor Mahapatra, will take you to MBA Finance, MBA Banking and Finance, and MBA Business Analytics. He will walk you through real-time examples of how you apply those concepts that you learn in those subjects in the business scenario. And then we will have an interactive session. We'll also help you on how to seek admission in the program if you are convinced. I'm sure you will be convinced with our work. So it's time for sharing the presentation. I'm going ahead with my presentation. Have a patience for a minute. Now you could clearly see SRM-AP is not doing this alone. We have entered into the world's best business school, Harvard Business School online. We are collaborating with them and we are offering these MBA programs. So before I venture in to tell you on how we are collaborating with Harvard Business School online and run our MBA programs, the groundwork that one has to understand are the basics that one has to understand in the business world to pursue a course in business management, especially in a prestigious business school like SEAMS at SRM. All of us know human beings have needs. These needs have to be satisfied. I'm starting with the subject economics, okay? These needs to be satisfied, wants to be satisfied. So you will see where the supply is, and you will estimate where is the demand, and you will see what is the cost that incurs in acquiring that item, and you will take a decision on that. This is the fundamental, ground on which the mind of an MBA student starts. Cost benefit analysis, return on investment. Okay. So most of the organizations, whether it is an IT organization or a manufacturing company or a services company, they produce goods and services for the consumption of the consumers in the society. This production process involves men, machine, material. By material, I mean raw material and expertise. So to manage so many things that are involved in the production process and post-production, selling these items in the market and making money and making the best use of that money and taking care of your people, you need a specific discipline, which we call it as business administration, in which you will be doing your postgraduate program. So Master of Business Administration is involved with the economics of buying and selling things, then managing people, managing money, managing large-scale operations, and these days, the new hit in the market, managing data. Most of the decisions now are taken based on data about the organizations, consumers, and people and suppliers. So we are living in a data-driven world. This leads me to tell you that at SRM, we have introduced a flagship program called MBA in Business Analytics. Now, if you see that we have a statement, which is also our vision statement, called Nurturing Tomorrow's Global and Ethical Business Leaders. You might be wondering, what is this fancy statement? This is not a fancy statement. The journey of a management student starts with imbibing the fundamentals of management, learning the art of being a manager who will manage the things in and around his department. Then grow as a leader, which means he will be a pathfinder for the rest of the employees, irrespective of his designation. He will be leading his department, he will be leading his group, he will be leading his organization as a CEO. Now, who is this global leader? Our aim is to train the people with highest levels of integrity, financial decency, and appropriate calculation capacity to rise into the level of a chief executive officer who can run multinational corporations. So that is our aim of nurturing global and ethical business leaders. You might wonder, everything goes well in business. Yeah, I can do something, I can do some mischief and get away with that. I can do some insider trading, like what happened in McKinsey's case where Rajat Gupta was caught. So it is also important that when you rise high up in the management ranks, you are also very ethical. You are looked at by everyone as a role model in your business organization, and the entire globe will be watching. If Satya Nadella watches a cricket match, it's a news because he's a global CEO. If Sundar Pichai brings about Wi-Fi to Kharagpur railway station, it's a news because he's a global CEO. Understand? On the lighter side, if Bill Gates divorces also, it's a business news. That is for economic convenience. I'm not sure how many of you will agree with me or not. By hinting with these examples, I'm only telling you that by being a student of business administration, you also have to be completely aware of the current affairs that happen in the business world. Elon Musk conceives a new product every year, or occasionally or suddenly, and hits the market with a Twitter. With one of his tweets, the stock markets can fall or rise like anything. These are all global leaders, okay, global business leaders, and who are also supposed to be very ethical. Okay. So about our School of Entrepreneurship and Management Studies. What is the agenda with which we started this School of Entrepreneurship and Management Studies? We want to nurture entrepreneurs, people who can lead people. We want to nurture people who can lead people with a lot of vision, strategy, and a strong mission. And we also want to nurture or train game changers. These guys, if they enter into the IT field, they'll change the game in the IT field. They will come up with a revolutionary product. You never know. Like Apple has come up with an Apple Watch. They would come up with some other thing with some other company. So they will be able to help all the businesses and also governments. They can also help the public sector organizations run efficiently. What is the next best point about the School of Entrepreneurship and Management Studies? Highly qualified faculty from IITs, IIMs, and central universities who have rich experience both in industry and research. Okay. The third highlight of our School of Entrepreneurship and Management Studies, which offers these MBA programs, is outcome-based education. If you design a subject, at the end of the subject, you not only get a grade, but you also get a skill. You also get a competency. That is an outcome of doing a course. If you do a course in marketing, by the time you come out of that course, you are good at pre-sales, sales, business development, and marketing, and the ability to distinguish between all of them. If you do a course in HR, you will be a practicing HR manager. You will be able to design a job description. You can run the payroll. You can resolve the disputes at the workplace. This is how we teach. And our curriculum is designed by the top academicians and very good industrialists with a lot of expertise. The next key point in doing an MBA program at SRM AP is case study method. This is not done in all colleges or all affiliated colleges or all universities. What is a case study method? In a case study method, you take the problem that exists in an organization. All the students are given that problem. A lot of data is given about that organization, about that problem. They analyze it. They sit together, they discuss, they find out alternative solutions for that, and they come up with a best feasible solution which is most economic. This was started in the Harvard Business School way back in the early 1900s. Now that has become the most famous methodology of teaching in the business schools, which we have adapted, and we are also collaborating with the Harvard Business School online, where you will have access to those case studies. What is the next best advantage of doing an MBA program at School of Entrepreneurship and Management Studies, SRM AP? Continuous industry connect to facilitate experiential learning. That is, by enrolling into an MBA program here, you not only study in the classrooms, but between the semesters, you will be doing a hands-on internship in a company. In a real-time industry, you will work with the manager, you will learn a lot of things, including a permanent change in your attitude if there are issues, and come back to the classroom as a very good, very good and emotionally intelligent manager and ask us better questions. Okay. Now, if you talk about the infrastructure that we have at SRM AP, SRM AP is designed by the world's renowned architects, Perkins and Will. This is the best of the architecture available across Andhra Pradesh, probably I can say South India. State-of-the-art classrooms with the digital dashboards, digital instruction boards, and thanks to pandemic, we never panicked. We have been continuing our blended learning by delivering online classes through Zoom and other platforms, and students and user-friendly academic system and evaluation system. Now, what are the programs that we are boasting of, or what are the programs we are offering from this academic year 2021? The first program is MBA in General Management, the Master of Business Administration program, which is characterized by dual specialization. That is, you will be specializing in two areas of management, either marketing and finance, or marketing and HR, or finance and HR, or marketing and HR. In addition to this, our distinguished board of studies has facilitated an idea called major and minor. You will do some courses in marketing, Majority of the courses in marketing, you will get a marketing major. You will do some courses in finance, you will get a finance minor. You might ask me, why should I do this? Why should I do this? People's attitudes change. At the time of joining MBA, you might think that I want to be a manager. At the end of your first year, you may think that I want to be a CEO. At the end of your second year, you might think that I want to be an entrepreneur. Excuse me. All said and done, to facilitate your constantly shifting attentions and ambitions and opportunities that arise in the market, we have devised this concept of major and minor. Okay. I would also like to remind you that if you are doing your specialization in marketing and finance, it's not that you don't have to do anything with HR. Even as a vice president of marketing, you have to conduct recruitment for your marketing team. You should know the fundamentals of HR. So we will make you all-rounders in this. The next category of MBA program we are offering here is MBA Banking and Finance. This is a top-end MBA program, or if I put it in the marketing language, top-end education product designed based on exclusive and hands-on experience in the banking and finance sector. All the faculty teaching these courses are from the banks and the highest degree, PhD and other degrees like chartered accountancy and all that. This is a customized MBA program which will train you for a specific career in banks and financial institutions. What you will do in banks and financial institutions, my learned expert, Dr. Lalit, will tell you when he deals with MBA Banking and Finance. The third vertical is the hot cake or the in thing, or all we are talking about MBA Business Analytics. Somewhere now I am sitting here, I'm talking to you. You are sitting somewhere and listening to me, but there is somebody else sitting somewhere else and tracking how many people are listening and how many have attended this webinar and what is the impact of this webinar in terms of the numbers. That's called analytics. If you apply it in the business sense, if you want to see the movement of a product, you will see how many number of customers are buying it every day on hourly basis. You'll make a statistical analysis. And based on that, you will be taking decisions. So this is another vertical called business analytics, about which, again, my distinguished colleague, Dr. Lalit Mahapatra, will deal in the second half of this presentation. Now, the most important question for an aspiring person to join this prestigious MBA program at SRM AP is, what is the eligibility criteria for admission? Is there any scholarship? SRM is known for promoting merit at any cost. This is the top management, especially our president's commitment, that encourages the merit. Take only the meritorious people. In line with the requirement of the corporate companies, which demand that you must have 60% minimum starting from your 10th class. We follow it here in the admission process. In your class 10, in your class 12, in your graduation, you should have 60% to be eligible to apply for this program. In addition to that, if you have good scores in GMAT, CAT, ZAT, we are also conducting a management aptitude test called SRM MAT. If you get a good score in this, you will be allowed for the interview, and our distinguished panel of experts will interview and select you for the admission program. It doesn't end there. Suppose you got 90% in GMAT, 90 percentile in GMAT, 95 percentile in CAT. You may be eligible for 100% scholarship fee waiver. Depending upon your academic merit, there will be fee waiver or scholarship, starting from 25% of the fee to 50%, 75%, and 100%. So it's up to you to crack or have these better scores and then knock our doors to get into the MBA program here. Okay? Then we have the other points. Why study? I explained to you the state-of-the-art infrastructure, classrooms, and academic delivery. Excuse me. We have a 1:15 to 20 teacher ratio, that is teacher-student ratio. That is, every teacher will be a mentor for at least 15 students, taking care of them from the beginning of their first semester to the time they roll out with a placement and offer letter or land up in a job. There's a personalized attention. Your curriculum, what you study here, is highly industry oriented and very flexible. You see, if we find that some vertical is very important and there are lots of jobs in that, we immediately conduct a board of studies meeting, incorporate that syllabus, pass it in our academic council and start instructing it in no time. So it's always to the advantage of the student. And this curriculum is always designed by the top academicians and industry experts. As I explained to you earlier, our faculty are PhDs from IIMs, IITs, and central universities. The significant part of your learning will be compounded by our important collaboration with Harvard Business School online on select courses, which I'll be explaining in the sequence. In addition to highly qualified faculty and a very good infrastructure and an updated curriculum and collaboration with Harvard Business School, we also have visiting faculty from universities abroad and IIMs and IITs. They will be traveling and joining when there is no COVID, or when there is COVID, they'll be interacting with you online with guest lectures. These guest lectures will also be delivered by top-notch industry experts. My colleague, Dr. Lalit Mahapatra, before he joined SRM Seams, he worked with world's prestigious company called Ford. You all know Ford. He worked with Ford and he joined. So his colleagues, my earlier industry colleagues, all of them will be coming here and talking to you and sharing their expertise in the business world so that you can link what concepts you are learning in the class with the real-time business world. And I have already explained to you the case study methodology for teaching. In addition to this, starting from semester 1, you have something called a role play. It is good to think that, yes, I have learned all the courses related to become a manager. Can I play? Can I execute the role of a manager? If appointed in a department and given in charge of leading a department, can I work efficiently as a manager? To train you on this, what we do is, in the class, we create role plays. We give a theme. We give a theme like, we create scenarios. Like, for example, you are attending a job interview. You lost your CV file on the way. You have reached the company. You want to make it to the interview. There is a CEO, there is a HR guy, there is a security guard who would not allow you. How would you manage the situation? In this, one student plays like the applicant, another student plays the role of a CEO, another student plays the role of HR, another student plays the role of a security guard. So we will make you enact this role play and see how you adapt to the roles that you will be given in the industry in the future. We also have simulations, especially in finance domain. Most of the work, most of the simulations are done through secondary data obtained from global companies. So you will be exposed to those simulations and you will have to take rational financial decisions. Similarly, simulations can also be applied in subjects like organizational behavior, where you can understand how people behave in groups, excuse me, how people behave as individuals, how people behave in the organizations. So these are all the renowned techniques that we incorporate with our pedagogy or the art of teaching in the classroom. Okay. Now it comes your dream. We have the collaboration with the Harvard Business School online education. You will be doing specific courses in this program, which is offered by the university. One of these will be Entrepreneurship Essentials. It helps you to make your dream of becoming an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. Okay, this is one of the courses. The other one is for E, it is called Credentials of Readiness. The fundamental courses for a management graduate are offered by the Harvard faculty online. There are distinguished courses like Economics for Managers, Financial Accounting, and Business Analytics, the latest one. These will be taught by the Harvard faculty through online mode or in an asynchronous manner. And you will be taught along with the famous case studies and you will be assessed on the scientific method. And at the end of these courses, you will be given a hard copy certification by the Harvard. Okay, it is not a PDF that you get like what you get from some online forum. You will get a hard copy signed by the person responsible for delivering that course. So this is our agreement with the Harvard, and which can enrich your potential to become a very good manager, leader, and entrepreneur. So you also have facility to take your career to the next level by developing a data mindset through business analytics. You can be an expert in business analytics. There is also this course offered by Harvard Business School online. Then what other things interest you to do an MBA program here in the SRM University, in the School of Entrepreneurship and Management Studies? Industry visits, possibly to the countries abroad where there are high clusters of industrial growth or within India. Then you have 8-week summer internship where you will land up in a company, work with a manager, and you impress him with your attitude and your work. You also end up with a pre-placement offer. That is, they'll tell you, finish your MBA, come back and join us. You will do a project in your 3rd semester and 4th semester, which is called a special project or a dissertation or a capstone project. You will select a problem in the industry and do a project on that, give out solutions, and go back to the industry and present it there. So where you will need help in research methodology, and you will be trained on that by our teachers in the 2nd semester itself. Another significant aspect of doing an MBA program at SRM AP is, starting from your day 1, you will be trained by a competent set of trainers who are industry experts on placement aspects, and they will also be conducting mock interviews to you to give you 100% placement at your assistance in highly respectable companies. Last but not the least, somebody says, I have come from a business family, or I want to be a businessman. We have an entrepreneurship development cell which has a lot of tie-ups, including a tie-up with the University of California, Berkeley for an entrepreneurship development program, where you will go there for a study abroad program and learn the basics of entrepreneurship, come back and start a startup here. So we have an EDC, Entrepreneurship Development Cell. We have faculty who have expertise in entrepreneurship. They'll guide you on that, and you can do miracles by taking up assignments or establishing outstanding startups in India or abroad. Now, I would request my colleague Lalit to interact with you and enlighten you on business analytics and banking and finance. Over to Lalit.
Okay. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, thank you. So my agenda today is to talk about these 2 MBA specializations that we are providing. The first one is MBA Banking and Financial Services, and the second is MBA Data Science or Business Analytics. But before that, let me thank Dr. Kamesh, who is our professor and head of the department of SIMS, for this eye-opening talk. He talked about the MBA General, where the MBA student has the option to choose 2 specializations. Okay? Either it's be finance or marketing, or finance HR, marketing HR, like that. Along with that, we have plotted 2 specialized MBAs, one in banking and financial services, and the other is data science or business analytics. Okay, so let us first see what is this and why this banking and financial services are important. Okay, on your right hand of the screen, you can see for FY21, that means from 1st April 2020 to 31st March 2021, the government of India asked the banks to open 15,000 branches. Okay, so that amount of opportunities are there. So if there would be more 15,000 branches, they require leaders, they require managers. Coming to our current banking scenario, our bank deposit, like our common people, we are having savings as well as fixed deposits, and currently it is amounting to 151 trillion crores in the FY20. And we have also similar amount of loans dispersed to the persons who want these loans. So that means there is a huge amount of money is there to be managed. And for the last 5 years, the compound annual growth rate of these deposits or this amount of money available with the banks, they grew at 14%. That is too high. Okay, so just I am giving you this data to show you that there is a lot of scope is there in the banking and financial sector. Now coming to Indian banking sector, currently we have 12 public sector banks and 22 private sector banks, along with 44 foreign commercial banks. I am only talking about commercial banks. There are institutional banks like NABARD. There are payment banks like Airtel, Jio, Paytm and all. Payment banks means they cannot just give loans. Okay, they cannot issue credit cards, but they can take the current or saving deposits. Okay. Currently, around 120,000 bank branches are there in India, and the number of ATMs would be more than 2 lakhs. Okay, so this is given by the Economic Times. So this is a newspaper which gives this data, and this bank deposit data I have taken from the Reserve Bank of India. Why I am presenting the data to you? To just give a broad picture, saying that there is a huge opportunity for the managers or leaders in this banking and financial service sector. Comparatively to the other sectors of MBA, the job security is high in this sector. Okay. So now let us go to directly to what is the uniqueness of these MBAs programs here from the SRM University. First, highly qualified and experienced faculty. As Professor Kamesh told us that all the faculties, they are either from the banks or highly reputed institutes like IIMs or IITs. Okay? They have wide experience in this sector. So around there will be 103 credits which will be spread over 4 semesters. There will be few core courses like accounting, then corporate finance, marketing management, organization behavior, then of course the business communication, banking laws, plus there will be the banking and finance specialization courses. So I will request you, if you are interested to see what are the courses are there, you can directly go to our website, which is given at the bottom of the screen, and you can see what are the specialization courses as well as what are the elective courses are there. Going forward, there will be case studies or application or simulation based courses. These will not be only lecture driven cases where you have to just sit back and listen. You have to participate. Mostly these courses will be case driven or discussion driven courses. Okay. Now there will be guest lectures, webinars and industrial visits or bank visits if possible. I will also, after these MBA courses, I will show you what are the 2 webinars that is already covered for our management students by the industry experts. There will be 6 to 8 weeks of internship that you have to do in that sector. Suppose you are MBAs in banking and financial services, then that might be a chance that you have to work with a bank for your internship. And there will be industry immersion project, which will be for the last semester, where you have to apply all your knowledge gained till then and just do a industry relevant project. And what are the job opportunities in this banking and related industries? You might be a branch manager. You might be working in treasury. Treasury means whatever the money is coming, there is a chance that just above the regulations, okay, there is some regulations are there that you have to keep some amount of money invested in the bonds or government bonds. So treasury will manage that, as well as there will be a little amount of money with them to put in the equities also. So all those work, if you are trained enough in these courses to handle these kind of jobs. Now, of course, you will go and manage easily the credit and the loan scenarios. And you can also attach a risk analyst where you can analyze the risk of getting repaid. There is a lot of opportunities out there because in these scenarios during these pandemics, there is a lot of loans are getting defaulted. So how you can or how best you can go on giving the loans and getting them back. So all those risk analysts, you can do that and you can be a risk analyst in these banks. Okay. So next, let us move to the MBA Data Science and Business Analytics. Here, let me say some things. Before going into the course details, let me give a current scenario of the data science sector. And before that, let me tell you, I have worked as a data analyst, a senior data analyst with Ford Motors. So I am bit conversant with these topics. Okay. So data is considered the new oil for these scenarios. And why it is considered as oil? As you have known, this oil is an economic good which is driving the whole economies. Currently, the oil prices are increasing around 74, 75 US dollars for 1 barrel of oil. 1 barrel would be around 159 liters of oil, that is costing us 75, around 74, 75 United States dollars. As the crude price increases, that is reflected in our market. You can see the petrol and diesel prices also are above 100 rupees in India. Along with that, you can see the domestic gas prices also increased around 25 rupees in the last week. So this is the importance of oil. If oil price increases, the whole economy will suffer because there will be transportation or logistic charges will increase and there will be higher inflation. You have to pay more price. So similarly, that is the importance of oil that is there in the economics. Now data has come as similar to oil, where a lot of importance is given to the data analysis in different industries. It's not only in manufacturing, it's in banking, it's in even there is HR analytics. They're analyzing data and try to recruit the best candidate and so on. There are performance analytics there for the human resource also. Now, all the decisions I can say most of the decisions that are driven by the data analysis. A recent Harvard study says it is now a necessity to have the data scientist in your organization if you want to reap the benefits of the huge amount of data generated that is known as the big data. Comparative to other MBAs, this field will generate higher salaries. Even if you enter at similar salaries at par of your different MBAs, but the growth will be very high. Mint is another economic newspaper, and there is a recent article 2 or 3 months back. You can see here 29th March 2021, and it says with 3 to 10 years of experience, your salary could be around 20 to 25 lakhs, 25 to 65 lakhs easily. So that is the importance of data science now. Now let us see how unique is our data science MBA course. So what are the unique selling points here? We give enough knowledge in statistics, advanced spreadsheet modeling, or that is in Excel. So Excel is a basic thing that is required. Whatever you do, you may do for analytics in finance domain, in marketing domain. So you should have a sound knowledge in advanced spreadsheet or the Excel modelings. That will save a lot of time of yours when you are in the field and are working as a manager. Then you will be also going through machine learning, deep learning, all these buzzwords. There will be enough experience you have. You will have to do projects, you will have to do assignments, there will be practicals. And on top of that, you have to learn Python and R. These two softwares are driving other paid softwares out of the scenario. Companies, they are going to the Python mode rather than paying a huge amount of money to MATLAB or SAS like that. Data visualization also plays an important role in the life of a data scientist. So therefore, we have included the W. You will learn how to make beautiful charts, beautiful pictures, beautiful graphs with the help of Tableau, dashboards, and the list goes on. There will be special courses on financial analytics, on marketing analytics, on HR analytics. You can take whatever you want. That these are elective courses. Suppose you want to, or you have a background in finance, then you can go for financial analytics. And there is also option that you can take at least 2 or 3 of them. Okay. There will be hands-on experience. It's not like that. There will be a presentation and the professor comes and delivers the lecture and the job is done. No. There will be interactive sections. There will be practicals. There is something like LTP mode. Suppose you see a credit, there is lectures, there will be tutorials, there is practicals. This particular MBA subject in this data science and business analytics, where there is a lot of time is given to the practicals or the practical sessions, where from the starting you have to complete the whole project. Suppose let us say regression. Let us give an example in regression. Suppose you have to data in Excel, then how to bring that data to the R or Python, then what are the commands are there, what are the little basics are required to run that regression so that you can see how the data or how the history is doing so that you can predict the future. So that is like hands-on experience which will be given prominent importance in this MBA class. There will be internship. You have to do an internship for 6 to 8 weeks at least in a data-driven framework in any company. And there will be capstone project. Capstone project, this project takes credit of 12. That means this is equivalent to do three courses of 4 credits each. Again, let me repeat this one. Capstone project means suppose you take a project and you say let us predict what would be the sale numbers of a particular car model for a manufacturing company. Based on the historical data that is available with you, you have to predict what would be the next sales for any manufacturing company. Similarly, this can be also applied to banking industry. Looking at different parameters, suppose your credit history is there, your buying history is there, your salary is there. Can we predict, can you build a model so that we can predict that the person who is coming for a loan, whether he is going to default or not? If he is going to default, how much could be recovered based on his past data? So this is really huge. The capstone project means you have to do A to Z analysis. You have to collect the data, make the model, forecast the future, then present in such a way that it is to be understood by the managers, by the top level executives. So if you have the attitude and the analytic skills to analyze unstructured data. Unstructured data means this is not structured. This data is it's like a pile of stones or pile of sands. Out of that, you have to pick the pins, or you have to build a model so that you have to build insights. You have to build knowledge from unstructured data to insights so that it could be applied in the real life. If you have that kind of attitude, that kind of analytic skills, then this is the course for you. And you can learn huge amount of salary becoming a data scientist. Now, what are the job opportunities? You can be a data scientist, data analyst. Data scientist is a much more broad area than just a data analyst. Data scientist is required to know about the machine learning or the predictive knowledge. For data analyst, it is bit a smaller domain. Then come to business analytics. Only analytics will not be helpful if that cannot be applied to a business framework. Whatever models you build, how good model you build, if that is not replicating the future scenarios, there is something called test and train data. That means you gather some data, that is your train data. You keep little bit of data outside so that based on the train data, you build a model and test that with the test data set. How good model even you build, if that is not working with the test data that is kept aside out of your model, that will be not useful, because if it is not even useful for test data, how can it predict the future? Just to give you an example, suppose I am in Google, I just type the shoes that is required for running. The next day I went to the Amazon or Flipkart, I will see there is the option of different type of running shoes. Even if I go to the Facebook or Twitter, I can see these are the arts from in the Facebook regarding the best running shoes. So that is the kind of analytics is done. Okay? So there is a different sectors like data scientist to data engineer. Data engineer here you have to learn about the how to store the data. There is something called data lake where you just dump all the data and with the help of there is this Python or SQL, you have to make beautiful tables so that the data can be easily extracted by the data analyst and data scientist for the future work. So this is a gist about this MBA in business analytics and banking. Let me talk about there are few talks from the industries. The first talk was on the 12th of June, the last month, and this was a BSc sponsored webinar that was conducted only for our management students, where Dr. J. Murthy is from Value Ideas Investment Services Limited. He presented what is the investment awareness program, that is the topic, and he presented around 1.5 hours. Though this is programmed for 1 hour, he extended and he was so enthusiastic. He made this project or make this webinar to 1.5 hours. So he was explaining all this kind of what is the equities, what is the bonds, what is the risk analytics, and all the practical aspects. How to go to like Zerodha or some kind of where you can open an account and like that. Similarly, we have another industry expert who was giving talk on AML in the same month of June in the last month. Here, the resource person is a PhD from University of Florida, and he has he also PDF, and he was also for some time he was a professor there in United States. Currently, he is a associate director of statistics in Pfizer, and he was explaining how Pfizer was doing all the experiments, all the statistical analysis that is required before coming up with the vaccine. So all the real-time data were used, and he was talking about a real valid topic. So these are the just only one or two of the webinars that we have conducted in our university for specifically for our management students. Okay, so in future also we are bringing for all the fields in entrepreneurship, in HR, in marketing, and even more persons in this AML sector and all, for they will come and they will give you the idea that is currently happening in the business world. Right now, what is happening? What is the trend? Where you can train yourself. Okay, so that is all about these two, and we have a beautiful campus. It's a beautiful campus life, and I hope this pandemic scenario will be little bit better by this year end, and hope you to see face to face in your campus, and all the best. So now, thank you, and that is all from my side, and let us go to our Professor Kamesh, and I will be very happy to answer your questions, anything regarding to admission, anything regarding to course structure, like that. You can
Yeah,
chat.
ladies and gentlemen, it is open now for your queries, questions, doubts. We'll do our best trying to help you out.
I can see a few familiar names there in the participants. There are a few of our colleagues and few of our old students. Okay, now we have got one question from Krishna. So, sir, Krishna is asking when will be the admissions open?
Next Monday.
Krishna, the next Monday, our admissions will be open. Please track our website.
We'll also have a press note on that.
Yes.
We'll also have a press note.
Yes. Please follow us on our website as well as Facebook. You will definitely come to. Thank you. Any more questions, please?
See, unless you ask, you don't get anything in this world. It's good to listen to a webinar, but it is all the more better to clear your doubts or, have more clarification on what you're supposed to get there and, how best you can derive from the organizers of this webinar for your academic learning and professional growth. Can we assume that nobody has doubts? There is one more message in chat, I think. Then will be the okay. This is the only question. Yeah. So our due time is 17 hours IST. I have something to quickly show you. Can I share my screen, Dr. Lalit?
Please, sir.
This is for this time is for interaction. We thought you'll come up with more questions.
Sir, we have another question.
Yeah.
And the question says, this will be the first year of MBA, and how can we expect the placement? So how would be the placement? Number one. Second, if this MBA is AICTE approved.
Yeah. See, we are a SRM University-AP is established by State Universities Act of Andhra Pradesh, and we have designed this course according to AICTE norms only. So it is AICTE approved. And you may be wondering that what is the guarantee that I'll get better placement with the first batch? To tell you, in the first batch, when the first batch runs, faculty and administrators work more than the students work. I'm telling you on the lighter side. Because you are our betting horses. Your success in the business world is a reflection of our effort. So you can be assured of a great success, provided you follow the curriculum and you follow the methodology and you be regular and you kind of stick to what is the game plan that SRM University-AP and SEAMS presents you to implement in the 2 years of your MBA program. So,
let me add one more point to his question. Sir, what I believe is currently in the industry, they look if you are coming from a good college or not. So that is already there. That brand is there. You are coming from SRM. The next important thing is if you have the skill set or not. So if you have the skill set, that will be provided as there will be in the class, like you have to do all your assignments, you have to attend the internship, and you have to really work hard. Then I don't think that in the outsider world you have any problem. You can have a good placement.
And to add to this with data, prior to this, before we started this MBA program at SRM University, way back in 2018, we started the undergraduate program BBA. The first batch has rolled out now. The highest package is 10 lakhs. One guy got 10 lakhs package in Byju's. And there are others who got packages with a BBA degree packages from 3.6 lakhs to 10 lakhs, all in the range. Some of them want to join, some of them want to go abroad, some of them want to come back for MBA. So this is the scenario. So the average salary is like 6.51 lakhs or so for a BBA student. If it is for a BBA student at SRM University, you try to kind of extrapolate how it will be for an MBA graduate with this kind of collaboration, this kind of faculty, this kind of opportunities and infrastructure. I hope I tried my best to give you the rational answer possible with evidence from the BBA, placement. Fine. Any more questions? If there are no more questions, I will take you to the important page. Hope you can take a screenshot of this. For all your queries about admissions, we have the numbers, help desk, and a toll-free number and email. Any of these form, our admissions guys will revert to you quickly in no time. And also keep following us in the social media. And every day I log into SRM AP website and see for the updates, preferably as someone has asked admission updates. So this is all from us. Now I would like to wrap up thanking the university for giving us this opportunity to interact with you and give our best about motivating you on why to do an MBA program at SRM University-AP in the School of Entrepreneurship and Management Studies. We wish all of you a good luck and have a happy and safe weekend. See you soon.
Thanks a lot.